Today, I'm going to give you a few processes for you to observe your emotions so you can release them and detach from them. So, obviously, we all have emotions here and we all know what it's like to get emotionally triggered. My first tip is for a beginner, right? So, if you have never done any conscious work, then what you want to start doing is to just call it out. When you have an emotion, just call it out, right? So when you have a negative emotion come up, just say, hey, I'm feeling frustrated right now. Just the moment you call it out, you have stopped identifying with this emotion because this emotion is possessing us. We think we are this frustration, right? Like, I am angry. I am frustrated. You are not angry. You are not anger. You are not frustration. You are the I am that contains the frustration, that contains the anger. You are this eternal space that contains all of this, right? So this is how we start tapping into that eternal space. This is how you achieve that freedom. And so for the beginner, it just starts with calling it out. Because the moment you call it out, you realize you are not it, right? The moment you are realizing you're having an emotion, you realize you are not the emotion. You are this eternal space. That naturally happens. So the first step for a lot of us is not to fully release any negative thoughts and emotions, but just to call it out, just to consistently for now call it out all the time. Hey, this is an emotion, this is emotion, this is a thought, this is emotion, right? And that won't fully let everything go, but a lot of times it can, but it will be a huge step in detachment and disidentification. Now, my second tip might sound so counterintuitive, but it's to just feel the feelings. When you have negative emotions, do not push them away. That's the worst thing that you can do. When you're feeling something and you try to push it away, you're keeping it in place. Whatever you resist persists. So instead of pushing your emotions away, feel them, allow them. Don't analyze them. Don't figure out where they're coming from, how to fix it, or whatever. That's just letting your mind in through the back door. Instead, what you want to do is allow them, feel them, go into them. Like, literally go into them. So instead of, trying to like back up, go into them, dive into them, like feel it more. Like I said, you're not thinking about them, but you're just allowing yourself to feel them. And as you feel them, it will flow through your body. You allow things to flow rather than keeping it stuck. And I think a natural mechanism that happens is when you are feeling these feelings, then you disidentify with them as well. You naturally detach and realize, hey, if I'm feeling a feeling, then this is a feeling, right? This is not my identity, right? It does not possess your identity. So I hope you start seeing this game here, right? It's about not letting your emotions possess who you think you are, right? Like, you're so much more than your emotions. And so when you can naturally become the space that contains your emotions, then things start changing. Now, the thing with emotions is that I see it as like two parts. There's pre-trigger and post-emotional trigger. So pre-emotional trigger, you're feeling more calm, right? And that's the perfect time to be more present. That's the perfect time to just focus in this moment, right? And to cultivate that inner space. Because when you do that, it's less likely you're going to get triggered by the same exact patterns. And that's the most important part here. I call that trigger healing, right? So before you go to work and you see someone who you absolutely hate, who triggers you all the time, you can get very present. I have other videos on this and I'll link it somewhere up here, but you can get very present and then don't let the same things trigger you. And as you reduce that more and more and more by not letting it trigger you, when you don't get triggered by a pattern that usually triggers you, now you're really deactivating that vibrational, emotional pattern, and things will really start rapidly improving because now you're clearing this resistance. So a lot of clearing emotions is in the time before where you're able to ground yourself in presence, in a meditative state. And when something happens to you, you're not moved by it. And that's one of the biggest wins. But a lot of times you will get triggered, and that's okay. So once you get triggered, then keep calling out your thoughts, keep being present, keep feeling whatever feelings that are coming up. Keep accepting them. And over the hours, they will start to slowly deactivate and reduce. And anytime you're feeling bad and you consciously start to improve the way that you feel, you start to find relief, that means you shifted energy. That means you shifted stuck energy. So anytime, if you feel 10 out of 10 negative, and you could just feel 9 out of 10 negative or 8 or 7 out of 10 negative, you've made a huge energetic, emotional progress. But yeah, so It's okay to get triggered, but just remember, like, the more you can cultivate this feeling of inner peace and calmness in the morning and not get triggered by things, the more you'll be able to deactivate a lot of your patterns. So think of it as like a car up a hill. So if you can stop it before it starts rolling, then it's easy. But when you get triggered, when the car starts rolling and you try to stop it down here, then it's going to be very hard. So yeah, I would say these are some of my top tips for you to start observing your emotions and releasing them. So remember, first thing you want to do is just to call them out all the time, right? And when your emotions come up, just feel them. And when you feel them, it will have the natural effect of detaching from them. And then the third thing is just to remember, like, to continue to practice meditation and mindfulness to help you continue to feel good before you get triggered. And so as you anchor yourself into deeper consciousness, you will get triggered less. And it's okay to get triggered. When you get triggered, keep observing, keep feeling, but continuously ground yourself in this space so that you'll get triggered less and less in the first place.